From my admittedly limited experience, adulthood is a rag doll cut from scraps of maturity and experience stitched together with threads of confusion and anxiety, stuffed with expectations you are increasingly aware you picked up from sitcoms rather than any real world examples. Good evening, flighty cosmic orphans. I hope you're all having the best of luck navigating the strictures of experiencing time in a linear fashion. I turned 23 in March. Flipped out, not only because no longer was my life in a constant state of being the perfect knight to dress up like a hipster and make fun of my exes, but because 23 felt like the first real adult age. 20 is nothing, you're 20, whatever. 21 is the drinking age in the States, aka the place where most of the college coming of age films I grew up on came from. So it's like an extension of teenagehood, teenage-iness. You're basically still a teenager. 22, I mean, you're feeling 22, you're youthful, it's like, oh, you got time, figure it out later, it's okay, you know, a leeway year, sort of, between like teenage and like adult. You're like, it's the perfect young adult age, you're young adult. And then it's like, you're 23, you should have your shit together more than you do. Way more, at least 2,300 times more. 23 is my peer group has serious relationships and their own houses and degrees, and it all just feels like a bit still. I did my own taxes, and the entire time it just felt like I was winking at the camera, like nudging someone with my elbow, like, guys, I'm doing taxes like an adult. Get it? Taxes. Oh. Anything that seems indicative of actual maturity or experience feels like doing an impression. Not necessarily a bad impression, but nonetheless. When I went grocery shopping on my own for the first time, felt like I was wearing a weird costume. I thought that I understood grocery stores, having spent some time in them in my life, but the moment I got in there, it was like, oh my god, I don't understand any of this suddenly. Everyone's just looking at me and they're just like, you don't know what you're looking for when you squeeze a vegetable. Stop fondling the produce. Take your little toddler pixie stick hands off of the fruit. You have no idea what you're doing. It's the same grocery store I've gone to for my entire life, and I was suddenly just like, where is everything? Everyone can tell I don't know which aisle to go down to, and oh my god, have carts always been this hard to push? Does this one have a bad wheel, or does it just know I don't belong here? I hosted a potluck shortly after marathoning all of Desperate Housewives on Netflix, went all out like candles and fancy place settings, accusations of marital problems, covering up a murder, general adulthood on Wisteria Lane sort of business. Made a lot of dishes. I made a salad, but I didn't have salad dressing, so I made one out of things from my cupboard, and I was like, this is it. This is the first step. Because everyone is just, it's the stereotype of having this crisis in your 20s, because everyone is just looking for what they think is like a definitive, concrete first step to being a grown-up. Like, guys, I found the stairs. I found the grown-up staircase. I just have to keep going up it, and then I will be a grown-up forever, no take-backs. Sorry, boom, it's done. For me, it was like, you improvised a salad dressing. You can conjure a salad dressing basically from thin air. You're in the club. You're in the adulthood club. This is when it stops being funny and starts being real. The Groucho Marx glasses are turning into prescription bifocals. Adulthood. And of course, the thing is, I have never heard of anyone who really knows what they're doing, so I'm not sure it ever starts being real as much as it becomes routine, maybe. Maybe for me, getting older just means like I'm occasionally quoting the parents from a high school dramedy rather than the main characters. Maybe that's okay. Maybe it's more important to just keep growing as a person than it is to grow up. Maybe I should write fortune cookies. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you grow up as long as you're growing as a person. God. Sitting on the floor talking about being a grown-up.